The mark of the beast is a concept from the Bible, specifically in the book of Revelation, that has sparked much discussion and interpretation. It is primarily found in Revelation 13:16, 18, where it is described as a sign associated with the worship of the beast and its image. Let's break down what it is and what it could represent using scripture and interpretation. 1. Biblical description of the mark of the beast. In Revelation 13, the Apostle John describes a vision of two beasts. The first beast rises out of the sea and represents worldly power, and the second beast, often called the false prophet, promotes worship of the first beast. It is the second beast who compels people to receive the mark. Revelation 13:16, 18, NIV. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666. 2. What is the mark? The mark is described as being on the right hand or forehead, and without it, people are unable to participate in the economy, buying and selling. It is linked to the name or number of the beast, which is explicitly stated to be 666. Symbolic interpretations. 1. Literal interpretation. Some believe the mark is or will be a literal physical sign, like a tattoo, a brand, or an implanted chip that will be used in the future by a global regime or leader, the beast, to control society. Without the mark, a person might be economically marginalized or persecuted. 2. Spiritual allegorical interpretation. Others interpret the mark symbolically, as a sign of allegiance to worldly or ungodly systems. The right hand and forehead are places where Jewish people traditionally wear tefillin, small boxes containing scriptures representing their dedication to God's law. Deuteronomy 6:8. In this light, the mark of the beast could symbolize a person's mental and practical submission to a system opposed to God. Forehead, symbolizing one's thoughts, beliefs, or worldview. Right hand, symbolizing one's actions and deeds. 3. Economic control and worship. The fact that the mark is tied to economic activities, buying and selling, indicates that it could represent a system of control where loyalty to a corrupt regime or ideology is required to function in society. Those who refuse to participate may face persecution or deprivation. This idea resonates with the fear of a future where technology or totalitarian governments might use surveillance or digital control to enforce compliance. 3. 666, the number of the beast. The number 666 is said to be the number of a man. There are various interpretations of this number. 1. Numerology, gematria. In ancient times, letters of alphabets, especially Hebrew and Greek, had numerical values. Many have tried to calculate the name of the beast using gematria, often suggesting historical figures like Nero Caesar, a Roman emperor, whose name in Hebrew can be calculated to equal 666. This supports a view that the beast is representative of oppressive empires like Rome. 2. Imperfection. The number 666 could also be symbolic of imperfection, as the number 7 is often considered the number of completeness or divine perfection in Scripture. Falling short of 777, 666 could represent humanity's rebellion against God and the insufficiency of worldly systems. 3. A future Antichrist figure. Some interpret 666 as linked to a future Antichrist figure, a charismatic world leader who will oppose Christ and deceive many in the end times. Revelation 13. This figure would demand allegiance, possibly symbolized by the mark. 4. Mark of the beast versus the seal of God. In contrast to the mark of the beast, Revelation 7:3 and Revelation 14. One mentioned the seal of God on the foreheads of the faithful. The seal represents divine protection and allegiance to God. This sets up a stark choice in Revelation between those who are sealed by God and those who receive the mark of the beast, representing two distinct groups in the final judgment. Revelation 14, 9, 11, NIV, warns of the consequences of receiving the mark of the beast. If anyone worships the beast and its image and receives its mark on their forehead or on their hand, they too will drink the wine of God's fury. 5. Theological interpretations. Various Christian traditions have offered differing views on the mark of the beast. Futurist view believes the mark refers to a future event, possibly involving a global political leader, Antichrist, who will enforce a system of economic control. Modern fears about technological advancements like RFID chips, biometric data, or digital currencies are sometimes linked to this interpretation. Historicist view. This interpretation sees the mark as symbolic of the Roman Catholic Church or other historical institutions, particularly during times when the Church wielded significant political power. Preterist view sees the mark as referring to events in the 1st century, such as the Roman Empire's demand for loyalty and emperor worship, or Nero's persecution of Christians. Idealist view views the mark as symbolizing evil systems throughout history, not tied to any specific time or event, but rather representing any form of idolatry or worldly system that opposes God's rule. 6. Modern speculation. In modern times, the mark of the beast has been associated with many things, including technological advancements like microchips or digital identification, surveillance systems, global economic systems, forms of authoritarianism or totalitarian control. Some speculate that advancements in technology could one day enable a literal fulfillment of the mark, where digital currency and identification systems require a form of mark to participate in the economy. Conclusion. The mark of the beast is a multifaceted symbol in the Book of Revelation. It may refer to a future event, a spiritual metaphor for allegiance to worldly systems, or an oppressive regime throughout history. The associated number 666 represents imperfection and rebellion against divine authority. Whether viewed literally or symbolically, the mark represents a key moment of decision for humanity in the apocalyptic vision of Revelation, contrasting those who serve God with those who follow the beast. If this video was helpful, subscribe for more like this.